Well, hey there, guys. We have the iPhone versus prosumer, consumer, high-end consumer, a little bit better HD camcorder today. And right now we're handheld, and the color is very similar, white balance, and also both produce fairly sharp results. You're pointing it up towards the sky. The blues are similar, and here the dynamic range changes a little bit. The camcorder is more accurate. Where do you think the camcorder is? And the sound's a big issue. Usually camcorders have bigger mics built in. That was the iPhone mic, a little bit softer. And as we focus on that tree here, you can see the exposure being adjusted more often here on the iPhone on the left-hand side. So we got the iPhone 6S here mounted on top of a Canon X810, sort of a prosumer camcorder, around $1,500 depending on when you bought it. But you can probably get the same result with a $700 purely consumer camcorder. So that's what you're looking at. And here we got the bed of flowers. The colors are being the white balance is different here. A little bit sharper on the right hand side for camcorder. Both give us good results here though. And as we move into the shade, iPhone adjusts the color, and we get almost similar results. If you hear a still image here, if we crop this at a 150%, we can see both show a lot of detail. So both are focusing on the leaves, not so much on the flowers. And if you look at the leaves, they have those jagged edges, and it's being represented very well by both, also the texture and the subdivisions of the leaves. So very nice results. Right, moving on to something, the shadow sun balance or dynamic range. Very similar results here. So the iPhone sits on top of the camcorder, which is moving a little bit more the way I'm holding it. By the way, here I'm zooming in with the camcorder to get a little bit more up close. You can do that easily. 1.8 aperture, and on the iPhone we have a 2.2, so depth of field is a little bit better. And here, beautiful imagery here on the right, on the left as well. Looking at the iPhone 6S, so no optical image stabilization. So let's have a look at still images, frames pulled from the video. Cropping at 170%, both results are acceptable at that crop rate. So we're shooting in 1920 times 1080p full HD. By the way, this video is in 3840 times 2160 4K, so we can have two 1920 times 1080 videos next to each other. So I'm not shortchanging you on resolution. All right, here we're moving on to a building with bricks and windows and the wood walls. I'm shaking the camcorder a little bit more. That's my doing. That's not the optical image stabilization. Both accurate results. This is how it looks like in terms of color. All right, and once again, let's double check here with a 150% crop, and both the foreground and the background, the front stairs and the back wall, the brick wall, is more detailed with the camcorder. So camcorder takes this one. Up into the palms, Hawaiian palm trees. I should say California palm trees. That's what it really is. And let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, it's like that. Equal focal range. It's kind of hard to see. Let's tap here. That looks gorgeous on the iPhone right up there. And so this one, the iPhone takes it. Much better dynamic range. On the left-hand side, you see more details. The underside of that palm tree, which gets sort of like blown out on the right-hand side. Again, the white balance, the greens are very similar here. And here's something I want to show you with the camcorder, what you can do with those zoom lenses. You get a good aperture. Shallow depth of field means the background is soft, and now the foreground is soft. And you can adjust how quickly that fade happens. So very dramatic results in the movie. But now things change when we use 4K video on the iPhone on the left-hand side. Gives us sharper results. This is not the same image. Camera is roughly in the same spot. And I can zoom out very, very quickly. So there's something you can do. It's an optical zoom. Smartphones do not have that. So depending on how you shoot. And here we compare 4K on the left and on the right-hand side, full HD. And we got more detail on the left. Look at all those little leaves. And but still, look at that beautiful depth of field here that we just showed on the camcorder, and he had 150% crop. You can see the difference, although it's not perfect. We remain in 4K for the iPhone, and I think here the camcorder still takes it. I think it's a just better image. It handles the shadows and the sunlight better than the phone, even though that's... Here we got sound. Yep, sorry, that's the sound for camcorder, and that's the sound for iPhone, so a little bit more muffled. Advantage with camcorders, you can hook up external microphones as much as you want to. Here, the Whole Foods parking lot. Look at the license plate. It's clearer on the left Prius, and also the door on that Camry in the back. You can see the doorknob. Another Prius. That's all there is. Priuses in Whole Foods parking lots. But the color and the saturation is better on the camcorder. Also, little rolling shutter here, at least at that tempo. And if we zoom in here at 150% crop, you can look at the license plate. The 4K is better, so if you have a chance to shoot in 4K, that will give you the better results. Not always, but in general here, that was shot in 4K, but the camcorder took this one. So the bigger lenses, the better aperture sometimes trumps that. Also, you have to keep in mind, if you shoot in 4K, the file sizes are much bigger. For about a minute is about 350 or so megabytes versus about 200 megabytes in 1080p just for a minute. So do the math. If you do 3 minutes, you have a gigabyte. What we can say now is that the iPhone, especially iPhone 6s and 6s Plus with optical image stabilization, gives us already very, very good video. The best camera, I always say, is the one that you have with you. So that's a big advantage. You have it with you all the time. Now, if you shoot in a movie, if you shoot something very elaborate, you may want to invest in some gear and, tripods, microphone mounts, and so forth. Then it gets a little bit expensive as well. And again, depends a lot what you're shooting, because here at night, Christmas tree far away, we can zoom in. That's something you can't do with a smartphone. It would be a blurry mess. Here the lens is doing all the work for us. We can zoom in, zoom out. So there are dedicated uses for camcorders. Now, there's a lot of camcorders out there. There's Sony, there's JVC, there's Panasonic, Samsung even. Some of them make smartphones, some of them make sensors, some of them put them in smartphones. So there's a lot of overlapping areas. But again, both produce great results. It depends what you need it for. A smartphone can upload easy, has the whole ecosystem. You have it with you all the time. The camcorder has expansion options. It's more sturdy. It can go wider and longer, so you can adjust the focal range, but it's also heavier. At the end, it all depends on you, so I hope that gives you some thoughts. But at the end of the day, the iPhone 6s just rocks in terms of video. Thanks very much for watching. Please comment what you feel, what your opinion is. Please like and subscribe. Bye.